Good evening, everybody.
How's it going?
Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Our esteemed guest, Stacey L. Pierson. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank y'all for having me.
Very excited to get in this conversation and pick through your brain on how to become an award-winning star writer.
Oh, Lord. Just a writer right now. Ooh, don't even say that yet. I'm still trying to make it there.
What's up, Trippin'?
Trippin'.
Man. You'll make it there. You'll make it there. Just got a positive attitude and a sense to grind away at that mission in life. So let's start off. How's your guys' weekend?
I worked pretty much all weekend. 12-hour shift.
Same. Okay. I worked.
Fair. Yeah.
Cool, just did some stuff around here as usual. Tried to get some photos done.
Right on. So let's get into it. My weekend?
Yeah. You always ask us.
My weekend was good until like last night. And then I had a sick dog all night, but that's okay. He turned out to be fine. Puked up whatever it is he ate because he's a Frenchie and he likes to eat everything on the damn floor, on the walls, in the air, wherever he can get it, he's going to eat it.
The ceiling.
So, yeah, I'm waiting to see him walking on walls one day, and then I'm definitely changing from photography to circus acts. So, be on the lookout for Spider Dog. Just saying. But let's get into this. Stacey, Ms. Pierson.
Yes.
Tell us about your life. Tell us about your story, your history. How did you get started with everything?
Okay, so I did write when I was younger, and I was a military brat, so my characters were my besties, and I would just dive into their lives and write it, and I started doing short stories, and my first one was The Wills, and I will never forget that, and I did a couple of poems here and there, and I'm just not I love poems. I'm just not as expressive as I am when I started doing screenplays. And I started doing those at 15. And I wrote a couple of them and sent them out and got rejections. Didn't know at that age, getting rejections, I didn't know how to, really handle it. So I just quit. 5 years went by, from 2021, 2022, and hadn't written a single word. My daughter was playing Minecraft. And next thing I know, I had a complete book idea to one day go into a series maybe, and started writing it. And about a year and a half later, I had a book.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. That's awesome. I mean, that's
Thank you.
That's a pretty cool story. It's a pretty amazing story. Especially coming from like being inspired by something your kid's doing.
It was just because of a Minecraft game. Yeah. And that's why I'm like, if you want to play Minecraft, I bought her everything. You want Minecraft? I got you. You helped me out.
Whatever you want.
If I may ask, what was that book that inspired you, about what?
Oh, so it was my first and only YA to this day. It's called Veil. It was a Bayou murder mystery. And it was about a group of friends who lost one of their friends in a tragic accident, and someone was a witness to it. And that someone, since I ride a motorcycle, he wore leather and a helmet, and he wrote letters to them, like in chain letters, and says, I know what you did. And if you don't basically, fess up to it, I'm going to make your life a living hell. And he did. And
wow, okay.
yeah. But everyone has secrets. So
follow-up question. What was your daughter doing in Minecraft that inspired you? Did one of her friends murder somebody and keep it
No, it was no, that would have been a different type of story probably, but she was playing with, of course, a group of kids, and everyone in that group had a secret, and they had to try to figure out what that secret was. And it was, I kind of sat there, I had a log line, and then I kind of had, a summary, and then I ended up with a synopsis, and then that was it.
And it just flowed out from there.
That's
cool.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty cool.
So it's because
it's
of my daughter. I'm a writer.
Does she get the byline credit every time?
She did for that book. Yes.
Yes. That's great.
That is.
Oops, I saw my banner thing. Hold on. I got to make some changes. But going into that, you have, 3 books now, correct?
3, and in 9 days, the 4th book. Yeah.
Awesome. So this is like just kind of that one little instance. Let's like set the wheels a turning and got it clicking again, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, I like to say that the 5 years that I had writer's block, really, the second that book came around, Veil came around, it was the second that everything opened up. And it's still opening up. It's every day that I have some sort of idea, whether it's going to work or not. I just write down the idea and I just keep going. And if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. I just go with it.
Would you say that you had before you said you started writing around 15?
I wrote when I was like 9, 10, and then, but it was just short stories. I didn't have the idea like, oh, I want to be a writer when I grew up.
Yeah.
I never had that. I mean, I was just so young. I wanted to be everything in the entire. I wanted to be a cardiologist, actually.
Because as a kid, I did not like writing, but then around 2007, when I was like 15 or 16 as well, I just started doing poetry, and ever since. But before then, it was like, I don't want to write. I don't. But that's why I was wondering, like, if you were a person that was kind of like me at that point, where it was like, I just don't care about writing, or you still had some interest in it before that.
I totally had some interest in it, and I didn't see myself as being, an author of books or, of course, poetry. I just said, because I can't write a poem to save my life. That's, I just can't. I mean, it just, it's horrible. I cannot write that for nothing. But it was the screenplays, because I love horror movies. I love movies in general. And I mean, I share a birthday with Quentin Tarantino. So, I mean, I was like, that has to be some sort of
destiny.
Sign. Yes, sign that I am going to write a movie and I need a screenplay. I'm going to do that. So I just started pumping out screenplays. I kept the idea. I did I did 3 acts. I did everything that I was supposed to. And I would be all night writing into the next day, getting the screenplays done, getting the first and second drafts, and getting turned down left and right. It was like hard.
But I mean, writing screenplays and even writing a book, it's a lot harder than what people realize.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It takes a lot of failure before you get your. I mean, was it Stephen King? He had like 30 or 40 books that were turned down before he really got his first one, like, recognized.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a lot of trial and error and learning, by putting your feet to the fire and just going. And just keep going no matter what.
Yeah.
What's up, Green? Thanks for joining us.
Well, I hated that one agent back then at 15, 16 just completely, stopped me. If I would have known then what I know now, I would have never stopped. But I think in a way now I'm grateful for that, being blocked and having them, because then it just just shut the door on everything. That way, all the ideas can finally come out now when they're supposed to, when it was just the right time for me to write. And I'm more settled, and I'm much more open to scenes than I was when I was younger.
Right. What's up, Ed? Thanks for joining us.
You mentioned screenplays and stuff, and I think like today with studios like A24, I think there's a lot more, which I know A24 isn't exactly like an indie studio, but they seem to be a studio that takes more risks with their films and want to actually produce art instead of just the next
What's up, Zach?
entry in a
I agree.
franchise.
So, I think they're way open for that. I think with some of their stuff,
like I know.
Well, I don't know. Something happened. I went blank for a second.
Oh.
On this side, I went blank. I was like, "What happened?" I was like, "That's just great."
StreamYard glitches every once in a while. Don't worry. You give it a second, it comes right back.
But I think with A24, I like the way that they have no holds bars on some of their stuff, and I think that they're just like totally experimental, like Midsummer. And I know it's Midsommar, but we all say something different.
Actually, it's pronounced Midsummer because I pronounced it Midsommar, and my friend was like, "Dude, it's Midsummer." And I went to Google and I typed it in, and it pronounces it Midsummer. So you and I were in the same boat.
All right, because it was like
film festival and pronounce it Midsommar, or else they're gonna look at you like you're dumb, Austin. And I was like, "No,
thank God I've been saying it wrong."
just pass up. I got a speech impediment. Leave me alone. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
But, I loved Midsommar. Damn it, there I go. Midsummer. And there's even like they just signed. So on YouTube there was this series called The Backrooms. I don't know if you've heard of The Backrooms or not, but it's like you glitch. Well, the guy, I don't know if he created it, but the guy that did like the YouTube series Kane Pixels or whatever. He's 19, and A24 just signed him on as their youngest director to do the Backrooms movie.
Nah,
I did. So, that's gonna be good too.
Yeah, I love it. I love Backrooms.
So it's never too late to try to hit that screenplay stuff if you're wanting.
I will say that I watched American Horror Story Stories. They're little mid stories. They're 1 hour stories. That's on Hulu. And they do, I think it's season 3. They do a Backrooms, like season 3, episode 1 or 2. They do a Backrooms episode. And it is really, really good.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Austin, don't worry. Zach had trouble too.
Well, see, it must have just been everybody.
Yeah. I mean, so knowing what we know now, do you ever see you turning one of your stories or your books into a screenplay to possibly see it on the big screen someday?
Yeah, I do. I think that Vale would be interesting, but I also feel like it would be a remnant of maybe like a Riverdale. So I think in a way that I'm going to say it, I don't know if I would do that one because I see it more violent in my head than what was on the page. And I didn't know how far I could really go at that point because especially being young adult. But I would say that I think Static, and that's about my ghost being haunted by the living. And I think with Presence, that was made. And I just recently rewatched that. And I thought that would be a good comparison of Presence and Static would be an interesting watch and read. And I thought that would be because I get a lot of 1998 TLC. I bring back everything that I graduated with is in that book. And then I took Spearsville, which is, part of where I used to live and put it in that book and made it into Sager. So I think that would be an interesting one. And then I think that I would love to see The Breathing House, my upcoming novella. I would love to see that made into a film. That
I'm really curious to see that one.
Quick.
I'm about to pre-order that one because that one sounds really interesting.
That was
question
like
about
that one.
Belle.
Yes.
I'm checking out the I went to your link tree and I was looking at your books, and it says Veil is out of print. Do you have plans to make that like at least an Amazon Kindle thing or something? So that
the publisher is closed, and so I'm in the process of trying to get it back. And right now,
that sucks so hard.
I know, but I mean, it's like I have so many copies here with me, and I would love to be able to take that and not do a rewrite, but be more elaborate in some of the scenes that I have had, and maybe not make it new adult, but I've seen some of the YAs that are being written now, and I think that I push the limits, but I would really want to push the limits on doing the scenes and just making it a little bit thicker. So I'm just waiting.
Yeah, I definitely know you can push the limits on YA. There was this book called The Passenger, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but it got like the ending of it got into some really like backwoods type of stuff. If you catch my drift.
Yeah, near like that.
Yeah,
got you.
Yeah, like the jokes people make about the South.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Flip Mamba.
It kind of shocked me.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that's what horror's supposed to
do. What now?
I was gonna say that's kind of what horror's supposed to do, is kind of shock you and surprise you and stuff.
What was so funny is that Veil's not even supposed to be horror. It's not. I mean, he has touches of it, but it's just it's a murder mystery. But I can't help but have some sort of horror in it, or some type of creepy. I mean, it's just who I am, and that's when I realized, like, like I got to write a horror for the next one, and I did. And that one was Dark Descendants.
So this one's static. This is the one you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Ghost haunted by the living. I love that. Right?
Yeah. That's a really unique concept. I really like that.
That makes me want to buy the book right now just to see what that's about, because that's such a cool concept.
That was so much fun to write. I built a 90s playlist and listened to it over and over and over again.
Yes.
It was fantastic. I love that is I actually would like to, from the little town that I won't go too much into it, but the little town that is in there named Sager, I would love to do like a second book to the Static and just talk about that town, because that town, I just went crazy in that town and I enjoyed every second of it.
Awesome. We got a first time viewer, Flip Mamba.
Hey, what's up?
Just saying what's up, first time here. Don't be shy, man. Ask a question if you want to. So I like how you integrate your actual environment into your stories. Because like when I was writing, I was always writing like fantasy stuff. So I integrated like my D&D games. When we do a D&D campaign. Okay, well, that's where a lot of my ideas came from, was like creating a story from all these, all my friends together, each one giving their own kind of aspect of the story, and then trying to think like them and create a book from it. Not all of them worked, because there's some of my guys are crazy, but using your actual environment, that's something that I've kind of struggled with doing, because I get too into it, and then it just seems too real to the point where it seems fake.
I'm careful with that as far as like putting my real life into it. I mean, I know like most of my main characters are like, I just base them off of me, whether they're male or female, but then I give them not everything. Maybe their hair, or, their eyes, or, it's something, or a quirky little quirk I have is like, if there is something like something crooked on the wall, I'll go and I'll push it down just to get it level. That'll be a quirky little thing that I'm like, okay, well, that character would be interesting, because then maybe they're not realizing that they have OCD, but they're not OCD in the book. And I was like, well, just something simple. And I did that. Now I have epilepsy, and my character Charles in Vale, actually, you meet him when he is in a seizure, and you see everything he sees, and you feel everything he feels, just as though I would go through a seizure. Is that I'm just bringing you into what a seizure would be for me, not just necessarily for anyone else, but for me, what they were like. And so Charles goes through that through the whole entire book, and he's epileptic, he has seizures. So when he get a head injury, you're going to be searching to see, does he have a memory loss? Does he have seizures? What's going to happen to him? And I really like that about him. So I take little parts of me and put them into the characters.
Awesome.
That always makes the character more interesting when you put a little bit of yourself in them. I've always thought, because like you said, you see it just from one part, your perspective, like your specific one. You're not typecasting it; you're putting it just unique.
Well, you're also able to flesh out the characters a lot more because you know what experiences or what it's like to have X, Y, and Z going on.
Oh, definitely.
It humanizes the characters a lot more.
Yeah.
With Jessie, she is she's trapped. She's Jessie's the ghost, and she's the one being haunted. It's just that we go along with her to help until she realizes she's being haunted. And that's already right when you open up the pages of the book, you see what her life is like, but then you also see a little bit of a Groundhog Day, and then you start seeing the changes. But right off the bat, she's sitting there in the middle of her big round table like I used to have, Indian cross with my legs crossed, Indian style, headphones on, asking questions. Is anyone here with me? Because I used to do that, and that is what I put in for her. And after that, it just goes off.
That's awesome. Now you were starting to talk about Dark Descendants, and this was your first true step into horror.
That was, yeah. Well, I had done a couple of different books, and that one was just the one that I kept coming back to. That's my Creole Island horror. And I was like, I don't have any siblings, so I have a thing for siblings because I just create my own sibling because I think how cool would they be? So that's what I did in this one. And so we have a pair of siblings, and they go back. They have this horrible time and on the island of Pine Island, and the female, she leaves, and the brother, he stays there and becomes a drunk. And then she comes back because there's a child that's missing. And when she comes back, she's stuck in the old traditions of there's one present given to someone. The Christmas tradition's twisted. The Valentine's Day is twisted. Thanksgiving's twisted. It is just not normal on this island. And then you realize that there's doppelgangers that are actually trapped in the dark, and they need to have their descendants in order to live again. And I ran with it, and actually I wrote it on a 6-hour trip. Every scene was done.
Oh wow.
And everything was done. Yeah, my dad was with me. So the book's dedicated to my dad because my dad helped me write it. And he was like, hey, what about this? And then all of a sudden that went into the next chapter, and then that went to the next chapter. So yeah, 6-hour trip, it was done. Then I just had to come home and put it in the computer.
Write it up, polish it, and send it on. Very cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your upcoming book.
Okay.
The Breathing House. See if I can pull it up here.
Yes.
Here we go. All right. Tell us about this one. Well, what you can without spoiling it.
Okay. Let's see. You guys are the first ones that I've done like a pitch to. This is the first, so I hope I can get this right. Well, it is about Marnie Blankley, and what she does is that she moves her family into a house in Bernice, Louisiana. which is a real town that is about 2 hours away from me, that I have lived in, gone through everything. I know everything about this place. And what some people don't realize is that Bernice is actually a tragedy, and it's nothing that she really wanted to come back, but she felt like she needed to because her mom tried to do an exorcism on her in this town, and she left and she got addicted to drugs, and she's clean now, and they move into the seemingly perfect house, and it comes with a caretaker, and she doesn't really understand why. She doesn't want to know why, and agrees that he can stay in the back and kind of help fix the place up a little bit, just like he used to do.
Okay.
But she starts, the day she moves in is the day she hears the knocking. She hears creaks and moans, and she feels something's not right with the house. And then one day she actually hears the house breathe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then after that, I can't tell you anything without spoiling it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough. So
It sounds really interesting to me.
I
want to know what happens.
Well, buy the book.
Exactly. That's the perfect pitch. She wants me to get it now.
Just go to her link tree. There you go.
Exactly.
And it's on Amazon too.
Right on. What was the inspiration, besides like the clear inspiration of you living in this town? What was the inspiration behind this book in particular, besides just the town?
Okay. Besides just the town, I would be up really late at night working on another project, trying to see if that was going to go well, or jotting down ideas. And I would just, everyone's asleep, and it would just be me in the house. And the house would do creaks and moans and settle and, maybe pop here, pop there. And then sometimes that silence was so, I guess it was definitely, that I would get the ringing in my ears. And I thought to myself, what happened if this house was not just settling, but what if it was actually saying something to me and I wasn't sure, and I had to figure it out what it was? Or what if something was in the walls? And that just kind of just spiraled into, let me write the synopsis. Let me see what happens. I went through, including the edits, I would say I went through 4 drafts of this book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Just to get it right, because it took me a really long time. Mm-hmm. And then I had an amazing editor, and he was like, look, this is a great story, but this is what you need to do and who we need to go on. And then Marnie just became the focus instead of the whole family. It was just smart to focus with her because she's the one who hears it at the beginning anyway. And after that, it just grew to 107 pages, and there she is, ready to go.
Nice.
I guess I can kind of see where this would go, because if she's living with her mom, I assume, right? Like,
she is the mom.
Oh, she is. Oh, okay.
Her mom, when she was younger,
did the exorcism on her. Yeah.
Did the exorcism. Well, she thought the exorcism was going to heal her, like, cleanse her of, all the drugs, and that just caused her to go, bye, mom.
Interesting. Okay.
Caused her to go, bye, mom, and open her psyche up to all the other crazy stuff in the world.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you more, but if I do, I'm going to completely ruin it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't want to know anything.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I love the mystery aspects of the horror stories you do. Like, each one of them makes me want to, which I probably will, buy some of these, especially Static and the Breathing House, just to see where they go, because you've set it up so well that I'm like, oh, maybe it'll go here, maybe it'll go there.
Well, I know I can tell you my next one coming out next year is not a horror. There's elements to it, but it's a dark psychological thriller. Y'all know You by Carolyn Nepps, right? Joe Goldberg. Okay. Mine is You by Carolyn Nepps mixed with a little bit of Southern Dexter sprinkled with American Psycho.
Oh, wow.
And I placed it. Yeah.
I love American Psycho, so yeah.
I placed it in New Orleans, where I lived for a long time. And then also mine is Miles Pike, and he's a very charming florist in the French Quarter. who just happens to have a secret that he has a garden of girls in the lake. And you have to go by his rules in order to survive the relationship.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. See,
that one was so much fun to write.
Yeah, well, I can't wait for this one to come out either. My toxic trait with any form of media is trying to predict where it will end up before it gets there, which I have a decently good success rate with.
Yeah.
But, nah, your books sound really interesting, and I'm really glad that you've come on the show because I don't, there's so many authors out there that it's hard to like find these people with really interesting stories.
Original stories
and stuff. It's really hard to get them because there's not like a good way to get your stuff out there in front of people. Because the people on like the New York Times bestseller or whatever, it's pretty much like the usual suspects.
Yeah, run of the mill kind of, yeah.
So this is cool.
Well, I will tell you, I'm working on 2 right now, and they're all about Louisiana. I cannot help but have my books based here. And I thought to myself, the next one is the struggles that I had and still sometimes do confidence-wise as a writer. I decided to put that in the new book that I'm writing. And I just hit 30K the other day, 30K words. And I'm loving it. And it just might be a slight hint of Edgar Allan Poe in there. Just a slight. Yeah.
Sold.
I've got the complete collection of Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah.
Don't worry at all about basing your stories in like a place that because one of the best authors of all time, Stephen King, like he based all of his stuff around Maine. So that's awesome. Like
I will tell you a really quick story if you don't mind.
I do not mind.
Okay. My first Stephen King novel is Christine, and I got it for $1.70 at a garage sale when I was 16. And nice. I read it back and forth, and then I have all of his books here. And I'm just now in the middle of, for the 50th time, reading Salem's Lot.
So, quick story. My grandmother was a avid Stephen King collector, reader, had every single book he ever did. She was so much of a, she wasn't really internet savvy, but she would log on Facebook and see like his posts or whatever, like, hey, and she'd be like, Austin, Steven told me this today about what he was doing. And when she passed away like a few years ago, I took every single Stephen King book she had. So I've got them all downstairs and I'm trying to make my way through it currently.
Oh. It takes a long time to get through.
Yes.
I've done it. I'm not going to lie to you. I did it one time. And that was like sitting there going, my God, wow. I was just like, woo. But I also
Very intense.
Love
Very
Anne Rice
intense.
as well. Anne Rice is just, I love her too. And I know whenever we took a vacation, my family and we took a vacation. My husband was down with, we're going to find Anne Rice's house. We're going to snap a picture of it. And you're going to have it. We even had 2 ladies who came out of nowhere and they were like, oh, her house is right down the road. And I was like, I'm gone. Let's do this. So I did. I got a picture of her house. I even saw where she used to have a bed and breakfast. I was like, man, this is horror heaven to me. I loved it.
You are right in the center of it.
It was great. And I can't say that there's not a part of me that does not want to do a vampire book in the future. I do.
No, that'd be cool.
Just don't make it Twilight.
Really. No, my gosh,
no sparkles. No sparkles.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking like I would do a little. I love to do twist on tropes. I'm not going to lie to you. I love twist on tropes, and I think for the vampire, I would do it. I would have traditional, but then I would have a twist, and I can't help but have it. But I would definitely do a twist on it, and I may or may not have written out a synopsis a few months ago, but I'm not sure. So.
Seems like we'll have to have you back on the show at some point.
Yeah.
It's
always fun. Like I said, or you probably got 1,000 stories in your head waiting to go that you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm the same way. Like I've told Austin here, I've got so many where it's just like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this, and like they're there, but it takes time to get it just right to get it where you want.
Oh yeah, the breathing house took me 2 years. It took me, even if it was a novella, it took me 2 years because I got to a point in it where I'm like, how do I write like a house? How do I do this? How do I? And it took a lot of quiet nights just to be able to do it. And I was like, man, but it got done and I was really happy about it. How it ended, didn't see it coming. And so I like it.
I'm definitely one of those people who struggles with when you have the beginning and end in your mind, but filling the middle into the hard part for me.
The middle, it's like I get to a certain point and I'm like, okay, where's my characters? If you don't take control, I'm not going to be able to write this story. And that's what happened with the story that I'm writing now. My character just finally said, all right. And I just pumped out like 4 chapters in no time on that. I mean, it was just like, let's do it. And I'm going to tell you, I don't go back and read until I'm done. So I really couldn't tell you exactly what's in there, what's happening. I just read the last couple of pages and then move on. That's what I do.
There was an author I used to read, and I just kind of fell off of it after a while. I can't remember her name, but she did kind of she took the monster trope, but she put her twist on it, where it was like a female detective / I guess private detective kind of ish, police of the monsters in the real realm. And I know she went on and did a fairy series as well.
Oh wow.
Man. But I read probably about 15 of her books. I probably got them upstairs, but that was a long time ago. Her name just slips my mind right now. But she did a lot of like really interesting stories, and like there's a love triangle between her and the werewolf king and the vampire king, and like the fae were chasing after her. Laura Hamilton, I believe. Let me see real quick. But it's like it's stories like that just like draw me in. And like I said, her series, I just kept going and going. Every time I pull into like a port call, I go to a bookstore and try to find it because I'd already finished the last book. And it's like, oh, I gotta get another one to see it.
That's how I felt about like Christopher Pike. You gotta remember Christopher Pike, right? He was like, all right, yeah. Anytime I found any of his books, I would just read them. And I mean, I read all the R.L. Stine books. And then when I found Christopher Pike, I was just like, oh, who's this? I went through that. And there was one, I wish I could remember the title of it, but I remember it was his girlfriend died in the book and that she came back. And then she says, you got to kill the one that likes you. And I was just like, where is this book going? What is happening? It was one of the best books. And then I read Chain Letter. That was my favorite too. I enjoyed that a lot.
Okay.
I remember certain things.
Yeah. It's Laurel K. Hamilton. And let's see. The series that I read that really drew me into her books. Where is it at? The Anita Blake series. So yeah, So I was doing the Anne Rice thing. Loved all of Anne Rice's books. Then she got into the witches one, and that was like, okay. The witches. I liked her vampire stories more than her witches one. I'll be honest. I think she knew vampires in and out. Witches. She had good stories with them, but I don't know. It just seemed like the vampire novels flowed a lot better. Yeah. And then that led me over to Anita Blake, Vampire Hunter novel. But she just has a new one out. Looks what I'm going hunting for.
It's 2025. Just order it. We don't have to hunt anymore.
No, man. No. There is this place in Florida, and it's got to be at least 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. Nothing but books, ceiling to floor, wall to wall. I love hunting that place.
Wow.
Love hunting that place. And they have everything. everything there. It's amazing. But yeah, what you're explaining how your stories are is definitely up my line of what I like to read. So,
Yay!
I will be ordering these shortly after we close up shop on the show. But so you started, writing these books, and you went from young adult to the ghost stories, to the horror stories, to the psychological thriller stories.
Mm-hmm.
What was your favorite horror icon when you were growing up?
I hate to say it, my favorite horror icon. Are we talking books, directors?
You name
anyone?
It in the horror world, name it.
Horror world. Wes Craven was always a big one for me. John Carpenter. I think I've seen everything of his as well.
Yeah.
Man, Lon Chaney. I was obsessed with him for a very long time. And of course, Bela Lugosi. I mean, I can't help but think of some of the old ones, like, Ira
Those are my favorites.
I have Rosemary. I have Rosemary's Baby, which I just completely adore. I mean, I know some people say that, but I adore the book. It's one of my favorites. Deborah Hill, for even being able to just step back and be going, I'm going to do all this with you, and let's bring this to life and just keep doing it. I mean, that is just, but of course that's just directors and producers and all. But I mean, they were such just constants in my life, whether it was on television, I rented them, but I also worked at a video store. So I always had something of theirs going. I always had a new movie, and it was playing in the background. So either Freddy Krueger, or Jason or somebody was getting killed, and it was just happening when people were sitting here coming and buying a love story or something like that. And I'm like, maybe you should try horror.
You sure you want that? Because we've got this.
Exactly. Come on, this one's much more fun,
Just popped up with the pinhead thing. We have such sights to show you. He just constantly all the horror movies.
Well, it's like,
would you like to take a spin on the box?
Oh yeah. Well, I was sitting there and I was listening to Talking Scared, and I had Neil McRoberts was talking about the girl at the end who gets into the truck. She's laughing and crying at the end of Chainsaw Massacre. And I thought to myself, that's just right there. What she did was just a perfect antidote of every final girl in every single horror book, horror movie, because at the end, someone survives. We have our final girl, but there's always a way that the final girl has to step back in. And I thought to myself, wow, everyone's crying and laughing when they get out of a book, a movie, anything. And I was like, okay, well, horror is the place to be. That's how I saw it.
It is two emotions that are scarily so close together when you think about it.
Exactly.
And the fact that it ended with, she's going to, she may be crying and laughing, but she never truly escapes, because that's going to haunt you. If you go through that experience is going to haunt you forever. So,
and I never thought about it until he said that, and I was like, my God, every horror book and every movie I watch is like, I was like, they've all done it. I was like, yep.
It is one trope that you cannot get away from.
Yep.
Those two emotions, you're happy you get away, but you are so scared for the future. And especially when the killer lives.
Exactly. I love it. I'm a villain fan, though. So I'm always for the killer. I hate to say it, I am.
No, the villains are always more interesting than the jovial, campers running around the woods. Like, I don't care about you guys.
But I'm always
as I've said many times, the villain is always going to have a different backstory for the most part. The hero is usually going to do what's right because it's right, or for survival. One of the two. You have few. Like I've said before, I have very few Boy Scout characters I like. Captain America is about it. So I always like to see what's the motivation of the bad guy. What drove him to do that? That's always a fun thing in any story to see, is why your villain is the villain.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so going with that point, do you prefer your villains with a tragic backstory that led them to their downfall and their need to, sate their experience with killing campers? Or do you like the ones that are just there because they're just a force of nature with no rhyme, no reason to what they do? What do you think makes the best villain?
Oh, what makes the best villain? I think sometimes prim, proper, and pretty does it. And that's what I think sometimes is like the most dangerous are the ones that are, giving you a slice of cake or, telling them that I love you. That's how I see it. But I also, with the ones that I've written, some of them, some do have a tragedy that has brought them back, and like Marnie for the breathing house, but other ones are just they just feel it. It just needs to be. I will say my villain in Static, she is just, it's a she and a he, but I won't say who did what, but I will say this. She's just evil. She's just born evil. She is, I hate her. I hated that character. I hated her so much that I just put a lot into her because I needed her to be hated. I needed her not to be liked. And the people who have read it, who have seen, they said that they hate her too. So I did my job, which means the character did their job. Mm-hmm. But sometimes just evil, some are born evil, some are made evil. And I like all of them. Now, if one just decides, look, one day that they are the best of the best and they decide that they're just going to go evil, I'm going to have a really good story of why they did that, because too goody two-shoes not going to do it.
I mean, I don't know. I've seen, some stories where the heroes has the best intentions for everything, but they're really the villain.
Yeah,
you see that a lot in comics. That is a trope so many times used over that, that their intentions in their mind are good, and it will better serve everybody around them if they complete whatever mission task they want to do. Mm-hmm. But to the wider audience, you're just evil. You're just doing some evil shit right there. So
it's like the old.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's like the old saying, everyone's the hero in their story. They still think they're doing the right thing regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone does think they're doing the right thing. The road to hell was paved with the best intentions.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the Joker. The Joker knows what he does.
He just that fun, man.
He is chaos incarnate. And I love that about him. There's no rhyme, no reason. Minus not the last Joker movie, but the one before it, where they gave him, the tragic backstory. I didn't want that. It was a good movie. I didn't mind it. But I didn't want that. I wanted the Joker to stay that agent of chaos that had no reasoning behind why he did what he did outside of it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because he even said in the comics, if I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice. So you never know which origin is true. Yep. Maybe he tells you the tragic backstory. Maybe he tells you he's doing it because he wants to. You will never know which one's true.
And I love reading about villains. I love it when a character just knows they're a villain. They're just like, yeah, I'm bad. I don't really care.
It's my
but you're going to have a good time reading it or watching it. You're going to have a great time. You'll be like, yeah, they're bad. I know what to expect. But then you might not, because you don't really know what they're going to do. And I enjoy that. That's a great feeling.
And that is one of the hardest type of villains to write, someone who's a villain just for the sake of being a villain. If you have someone wwho's like, so they lost someone they cared about and then they turn bad, it's a little bit easier to have that motivation. But to have just a evil character for the sake of being evil, it is very difficult to write that kind of character, unless it's something like you had said, Raven, about it being like just a force of nature, like a demon or something that's just born to be a villain. So
every James Bond villain, Right there.
Exactly.
Every
Exactly.
one of them knew they were evil and what they were doing. I want to rule.
Exactly.
Done. So, as far as horror goes, and you say, John Carpenter and things like that, what has been your favorite horror movie? The one that you turn to every time that just gives you the goosebumps to watch?
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, come on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Halloween. I totally
What are you
enjoy
talking about?
I totally like, the remakes. I do watch but if I get an opportunity, I'm gonna watch the original. I mean, how many times am I gonna say, do you see that guy? Annie, oh, come on, I know every line of that movie. I mean, it's just the best.
It is.
I just enjoy it.
Yeah, my grandfather, when I was like 4 or 5, he would show me The Exorcist, Freddy, Jason, like the whole nine. Way before I should have even knew who they were, but he didn't like
Never
Halloween.
too young.
Exactly. He never really liked Halloween. He liked the more schlocky stuff. But as I got older and started like experimenting with writing some screenplays and stuff, I always liked how grounded the first Halloween was. And that's where a lot of like the movies I like to watch come from. It is the first John Carpenter Halloween. And
definitely.
You can't get better than Mikey.
Oh yeah, and I do enjoy The Fog, the original Fog.
Yeah, that's great.
I enjoy. I mean, John Carpenter, he is like one of those ones that if I could be in a room with just John Carpenter, Stephen King, Wes Craven, even though he passed, Quentin Tarantino, if I could just be in the room with all of these people that I've always looked up to my entire life and just be like, how did you do it? How did you get through the humps? And how did you get through this? Or what did you think it would be this far? I would just like to just ask them so many questions because they, to me, have just paved the way for horror for me and how I am as not just as a writer, but as an individual who loves it.
Yeah,
exactly.
The Thing is one of my favorites of all time that John Carpenter did. Love that movie. That ending is so dreadful. You don't know. I mean, I know later on they tried to explain stuff, but I love that ending. It was so hopeless.
Don't explain stuff. Let it say.
Exactly. They won, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, though,
I don't know. It's Kurt Russell, man. Kurt Russell always wins.
Yeah.
I just watched Big Trouble in Little China, so Kurt Russell.
Oh my God,
I need to rewatch that.
Remake that. Do not remake that movie.
Yeah.
The way it is.
Leave it.
Don't
leave it alone.
do it.
Same with Escape from New York. Leave it alone. Let them stay the classics they are.
Well, I was going to say, you said you shared a birthday with Tarantino. What's your favorite Tarantino movie? Because my favorite movie of all time is Pulp Fiction.
It's gotta be. I mean,
yes.
I just
what's in the box?
If it's on, I'm watching it. I mean, if I have the soundtrack on my phone. I mean,
I've watched that about 30 times this year already. If it's on, it's on.
I will say, but Django, I really enjoyed that. That was a good film.
Yes,
I enjoyed that. I really did.
Yes, Pulp Fiction is always my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, how many people can just do the dance? And you're like, oh, just stab her in the heart. It's great.
There are so many iconic things in that movie.
There really is. I really come on. I would give anything to just have that wallet, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
They made it. I've got a book from years ago that Entertainment Earth sent out like in 2006, and it's in there. And I'm like, wish I could have got that, but I was probably like, let's see, in 2006, I was probably like 14. It's like, yeah, probably wouldn't have had it.
I wouldn't mind if Quentin Tarantino ever wanted to make a full-fledged horror film. Complete. I mean, we see that it is. I mean, there are different types of horror, but I mean, I would love to see Tarantino direct and do a full-fledged horror film. I mean,
he's still got one really good at it. He's got one more movie left before he's apparently retiring.
Oh God!
So the jury's still out on what it's going to be.
Yeah, if he came out and he says, "I'm doing a slasher. This is what it's going to be," I can guarantee I will be right there in the front row with things of Diet Coke and popcorn. I will be like, that's it, and done. It's great.
Now, with Quentin Tarantino, it wasn't so much his movie, but his role in From Dusk Till Dawn.
That was great.
he did such an amazing job. So if he could take that energy and make a movie around the brothers, I mean, I know they kind of died, but I mean, you can always rewrite history.
You can come back. Anybody can.
Always rewrite history.
Oh yeah.
But see his brother come back and George Clooney having to hunt him down again. That would be.
It would be so awesome. I mean, I know that. I think I rewatched that back to back when it came out, when you could rent it.
Yeah.
And that's all I watched. But I mean, I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, so.
Yeah, that is definitely on the list of to watch under anything with him in it.
Well, it's like my daughter's 11, and she's slowly getting into horror. She wants to watch Scream. I don't have a problem with her watching Scream, when it first came out, because they're different now, But if she turned on, she wanted to watch like The Exorcist, and we got to talk because you are not prepared for that. Not at 11, no.
Well, as someone that watched it when I was 4, the younger the better to experience that movie. But be warned, there is this new movie out that I think is worse than The Exorcist. Or better than The Exorcist as far as like demon possession movies go. It's called Bring Her Back. It's by the duo that made Talk to Me. Me and my wife went and saw it in it was AMC's like Scream Unseen. So it was an early screening for a movie you didn't know what you were viewing, what you were going to see. And that movie shook me. I am like desensitized to a lot of. Oh, did we lose her?
Uh-oh. Yep. Well, kind of. I think we did.
Give it a second.
Refresh. All right, I guess we're going to have to start dancing.
No, nothing. All right. Hopefully we can get her back in. She can jump back in.
Well, for our loyal viewers in the chat, Bring Her Back is an excellent movie. It is in theaters right now. This is not a sponsored thing, but if it was, that would be great. You definitely need to go watch it because I got shook. Covering my eyes, it wasn't like a jump scare. It was the atmosphere, the subject matter, the complete hopelessnessness in that movie.
There you are.
Hey.
My phone, my laptop died. I was like, oh no.
What is going on?
So I went ahead and said, I got my phone. I got this.
Yeah, watch Bring Her Back. It shook me. It's a quick summary. 2 kids, dad dies. They go into foster care with a Satanist who's trying to.
It's something you've got me interested in wanting to see, and I know, contrary to popular belief, those normally aren't the kind of movies I'm into.
No,
I'm normally more into Eldritch horror, so the demon stuff actually, you've got me wanting to see it.
Listen,
I've been wanting to see that for a while.
I implore everyone to go watch it. It is probably, I can't see it being dethroned as the best horror movie of this year.
Yeah. Have y'all seen Sinners?
I've heard Sinners yet. I've heard good things about it.
It's amazing.
It is good. I saw it, and it's just, what can I say about someone makes a movie and about good old Mississippi? I mean, the music's fantastic, the acting's good, the storyline is fantastic. I mean, I enjoyed every second of it, and I can totally see where. And I can tell you that a lot of people are going to either be trying to write like that or going to try to make a movie again like that, because it's really that good.
That formula just worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. It did. So I heard rumors that there's going to be a possible sequel, but I don't think anybody's really confirmed it yet.
So I've heard that Warner Brothers is moving ahead with a sequel, but Ryan Coogler is not. He wrote that and directed that movie as like this is the full story. Yeah, one and done. But such a smash hit that Warner Brothers is like, fine, we don't need you. We're just gonna make like, I don't know,
that's wrong.
A trash film.
That's wrong. No, they need the.
And it'll probably be as good.
Oh yeah. Sorry guys, I got to move. My other thing's dying, so let me grab my charger.
You're good. film studios have gotten so cynical because, back in like the, I don't know, the 1970s, 80s or whatever, like I know it was still kind of like, the studios controlling everything, but it felt like there was passion behind the films, like the directors kind of had their intent. Now it's just, it's like
wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
Which,
well, I mean, that's one of the scariest things is like when you make a movie with someone, if it's a project you're proud of or you really enjoy, if they own your character or your rights to your movies and your stories when you leave. And then they just drag it through the mud, and then you meet someone who likes your work, and they're like, you did good on the first one. What happened down the road? And it's like, well, I didn't write those.
That wasn't me.
Exactly.
What was it? I think they said Blumhouse just bought the franchise rights to Saw.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was it? Blumhouse, or did the rights revert back to
See, that's what I don't understand.
revert back to James Wan?
See, I saw
No, Blumhouse got him.
and I saw James Wan. So I don't know which one's really happening now. I don't know.
Well, I mean, James
who does
Wan,
the Conjuring films?
James Wan.
Like, well, no, but I mean, like, what studio is that? Blumhouse,
I thought Blumhouse still owns that. I thought they still had that.
I don't know.
I was pretty sure that James Wan, like a lot of his movies were under Blumhouse.
That's what
Studios.
I thought. I really thought that, or Ghost House. But isn't Ghost House a part of Blumhouse? Now?
I think Ghost House is like a subsidiary. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what, either way, have it.
Well, regardless, the most like Blumhouse, I think, has one of the strongest track records with horror, like right next to A24 in like recent, like their films are very like they're low budget, whatever, or they can be like they try to find how to make the movies like filmed the most efficiently, but their movies are mostly quality like every time. Mostly.
Yeah, have
Except
y'all
for
seen
Megan.
that?
Megan
What is
sucks.
it?
It's one of my favorite movies. You leave that alone.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't.
I loved it.
It's on my list, but I haven't.
Do it. It's great.
I heard it was, so now I really have to see it, y'all.
It's Chucky for the TikTok generation.
Yeah, but they're changing it from Chucky. The new movie's going to be great. They're going more Deadpool with it, more action, which made me happy because, like, well, now they're not copying Chucky. Now it's its own thing.
Well, they kind of ruined Chucky when they tried to do that remake.
Yeah,
Child's Play. That was trash.
I'm telling y'all, that Chucky movie, that Child's Play remake they were wanting to make a sequel to that, but they were like, nah, the fans really didn't dig it. And that's where Megan came from. You cannot convince me otherwise. It shares too much plot similarities with the Child's Play remake. I'm sorry.
Now, the Child's Play TV show, the Child's Play series is awesome.
Yep.
Even that last season where they're like trying to destroy a national monument, because I don't think we can say what they did without getting canceled.
Yeah.
But that, jumping the shark is viewed as a bad thing, but that show jumped the shark expertly, like every
season.
We're gonna bomb the polar bears. Just incredible.
Oh man! But
I mean, Chucky's that kind of character. He can.
Yeah.
No, it's perfect.
He's horror's Deadpool, essentially, without being as extreme as Deadpool. But he is definitely the horror equivalent of that, where he can say and do silly.
Extreme.
Yeah,
he's pretty extreme. I'm just saying, he's pretty extreme.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, so we have reached that point where we get to share some of the great artists of Instagram and their horror shots.
Oh.
We will start off with me doing it the right way, which apparently I'm not doing right now. Hold on. There we go. We're going to start off with toys _ from my _ or from my desk. Toys from my desk with the underscores in it. And I believe this was one of yours, Lights?
Yeah, I just which I didn't even click to see what the other slides were. I mean, the story could go on, or it could just be a collage. Okay, it might just be each individual shot. I liked kind of the slight comedic aspect of this guy being like, "Oh wait, I think I took a wrong turn," and then Jason's there, and then he's getting whacked. It's a fun shot. I like the framing of it, and I really like the colors, and I like the action. I like the story. It's just good.
Looks like an Alan Grant character.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pieced together real well. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was a story.
And again, it's using one of the best Jasons that NECA put out.
It's the best Jason NECA's put out. And that's the best Jason design.
Yep.
Next up, we have Inari_toys.
I think this was another one I pushed forward. This one again, the framing, the composition of it, the lighting. I mean, every bit of this is just expertly done.
I really love that bit about the castle window, like someone's looking in.
Yeah. That's
like that.
Oh, his bud died.
Are we losing audio?
Your earbuds died.
Yeah,
I think.
Yep. Got it. Should have been watching my time. Yeah, I like the skull and the rats in the foreground being blurry, and then all the attention is drawn by the the lantern that he's holding, and the shadowing and everything is really great with this figure. Let's see.
It's excellent.
Next up is
another one.
Toy_Lens.
This shot
I still need to get that Sam. I still need that Sam. This is a great shot.
Incredible shot.
Go ahead,
making me wish it was October.
Oh, definitely. That's also. I just like it. It's just not just creepy. I think it's just really cool looking. I like the jack-o'-lanterns, especially any of the fire. I enjoy.
They did a really good job on the effects, especially like the smoke coming off that candle.
Yeah.
And Trick or Treats, like ever since I saw it, I watched that at least once or twice a year. I love that movie, and seeing that they had a Kickstarter for a graphic novel for a sequel to it, and then there's a little something I shared to our little private chat. I want to share on the show tonight because that was cool.
Yes, that was awesome.
That was fun, but it is definitely Sam related. Next up, Bonnie Lassie.
Wow.
Yes.
Love the lighting.
They really took this Pennywise and showed it off.
Wow. Crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I believe this is the Mezco one.
Definitely
no,
was the
Sideshow. It's the Sideshow one.
Oh.
So
Mezco one doesn't look this good.
Yeah, in the toy world, there's a few different scales. You've got 118, 112, 1/6, which is like 3 3/4 is 118, 112 is like 6-7 inch, and then 1/6 is like 12 inches, 10 to 12 inches tall. And depending on how big the figure is and how much of a background that you can build, like if you try to build a doorway for a 1/6 scale figure, you're gonna have a pretty big doorway, and the advantages of a 112 is you can fit it anywhere, even though your dios that you use for that can become quite large. 118 is a little bit easier because they're small, but they still have a lot of detail. But when you do a 1/6 scale, like this figure, and Sideshow is one of the top tier toy brands that they put out there. I mean, you're looking at like $300 or $400 for their base figures, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of detail to go in these figures, a lot of work, a lot of care, a lot of effort, and they come out looking amazing, especially if you are really well versed and practiced in shooting figures that size.
Yeah.
So this is just a well done shot.
Very well done.
Next up, There it is. Anime figure statue collector.
This is from the collab we all did with the Devil's Toys, which I think was the biggest collab we had.
Friday the 13th. Okay.
Yep. I was really happy to be a part of this and happy the Devil's Toys got to, be one of the platforms for it. To get it
You
out
might
there
as
for
well
everybody.
build a doghouse for 1/6 scale.
Yeah.
Pretty much, man. Because those are some huge figures.
Yeah.
But I love, again, NECA knocking it out of the park with the Pamela Voorhees, and the Jason Voorhees. And it looks, is this a custom that he did?
I'm not sure. You'll have to ask him. Because I've seen him use this one a couple times, I believe.
Right.
No, I don't think it is. I think because I remember seeing him in a group chat getting the remake Jason, which I think this is just the remake Jason.
It might be.
That makes sense. But yeah, again, the lighting being on the main character up front and forward, but still having enough lighting back to see the, all the pictures on the wall, and his mother in the background screaming, "Get him! Get him!"
I was going to say she's like whispering, but her mouth's open real big. Get him.
So next up, we have WV Toy Photography Guys.
This is probably one of my favorites from the collab because of the Millhouse. I love these goofy crossovers.
What's a crossover you would like to see, Stacey?
A crossover I would like to see. I wouldn't mind seeing probably like Michael Myers and a Care Bear.
I'm gonna go buy a damn Care Bear now. Look at you enabling me. I'm gonna find a Care Bear now.
Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
It would be interesting. It would be different, but yet it would be fun. Everyone,
what would
even
the
kids,
motion be though?
What's that?
Even kids. I know my little one would love it if all of a sudden, the Care Bear was in with Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger or Leatherface even. It'd be interesting. I'd like it.
I'd say I'd love to see Pennywise and the Killer Clowns from outer space.
Oh,
yeah.
I know that's some Arby's in with collections and stuff. I just don't like. I would never think to put a Simpsons character in with Jason Voorhees. I would never think that in a million years. So I do enjoy that.
You mentioned Leatherface, and the first thing that comes to my mind is Gumby and Pokey. Leatherface versus Gumby and Pokey.
That'd be awesome.
Just keep reforming out of clay.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Maybe the Wolfman and I don't know, the little that Slinky dog from Toy Story would be interesting.
Airbud.
Yeah, it totally
teaches him to play basketball.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many ways to dissect that, and I think that I say go for it.
I think we have a collab idea based off this. Yes. All right.
I might know what the Devil's Toys next collab is going to be.
Next up,
I love speaking of crossovers.
3134.
That's so awesome.
I love the background he's got for this one.
Yeah, I love the classic Universal horror monsters, every one of them, and seeing them put in with modern horror figures. It's really, when done right, it's really, really awesome to see, because you get the classic nostalgia with the what if, these two characters met up now.
Yeah.
Kind of like a crossover, except you're still sticking with the horror theme. Like, take like the Black Lagoon, the creature from the Black Lagoon, and put him with like a Nessie figure or something. What would that interaction be like?
Yeah.
But this is really, I like the lighting. I like, the texturing of the photo, and they're both admiring the poor decapitated man in his hand.
That's a great shot.
Next up, another one of my favorites, and this one, let me know if you've seen this movie.
Oh, no.
Like a direct scene from the movie, man. He did an amazing job. First Strike Figs.
That's good.
His work is like on point, almost, every time. From the, texturing with the rain to, like, here's the screenshots from the actual movie. His inspiration for this shot. But to get this chair to balance on those steps, I'm wondering how many times it took him to get them to balance like that, and what wiring he has to hook it up like that. Because hell, my figure at the top would be falling over.
Same. Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And next up, our last feature for the night, Collection Unleashed. Sticking with the Jason theme.
Mm-hmm.
Putting the blood splatter in there was really a nice touch. But love our Jason, especially with his birthday being last week.
Yep. I think that was the last Friday the 13th of the year, right?
It's the only Friday the 13th of the year.
Oh, that's right. We did. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Our last Friday the 13th was like in December, I believe, last December.
Yeah, it was. Because I did some Christmas Jason.
Yeah, we did a collab then. But what is cool, though, about this year was it was on his actual birthday from the movie.
Yep.
June 13th, Friday the 13th, lined up just perfectly,
Nice.
But again, Jason, one of the classics. So,
I was saying, I got to thank Life because he's the one who put me on to reaching out to Roger for this collab.
Yeah. So everybody that we featured, great work. Everybody in chat, go check out their pages. Throw them a like, throw them a follow. Again, amazing work, everybody. So, going into Jason, though, what are your views on the new series that's coming out? What do you think?
I'll give it a chance, but I can't say that I won't get past episode 1. I know that they've tried to do this a couple of times, and I think that if it didn't go through the first few times, or at least the first time, then there was something wrong. Maybe not, I don't know. I don't know. I think that it's just really hard to like making such a character like this and put him in a TV show. Like, really, how many seasons can we possibly get? We know how it ends.
Right. Yeah.
And I just, unless there is a huge twist that they have going on that we're going to see more of a backstory before. I mean, okay, then I'd be down.
That's what I think it is.
That's what I've heard. Is this isn't so much a Jason movie, it's a Pamela Voorhees series.
Mm-hmm.
Like showing the time between from like when he died to the first movie, because there was like, I don't know, maybe a decade that passed between him dying and
I think that
when the first movie started.
I'd have to hear what her tragedy is. Like I would have to hear. I hate to say that. I'd have to hear what made her that crazy. Like what? Yeah. I would. Yeah, I'll stick with it probably just to at least get through the first episode and go okay, feel it out. Like I'd have to give a couple of really good hints.
Yeah, it's going to be an episode to episode thing, kind of.
Yeah. I'll give it a chance, but I can't really see. I know I've seen so many remakes. What they did that one remake with one of the guys from Supernatural. I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jason Padalecki.
I tried it. I couldn't get through like the first 15 minutes of it because I guess it was just it. Well, come on. How many remakes can we have? And speaking of remakes, I don't think certain things need to be touched. Leave them as is. You know, that's how I see it. Because I mean, you're either you're going to screw it up, or it's going to be good. I know, but more likely you're going to screw up the original because it's not going to have that. It's not going to have that vibe. That's what I feel, at least, for something.
Then,
I'm going to have that vibe.
You brought up remakes. What was which I guess the newest trilogy of Halloween movies, those weren't quite remakes. But what was your opinions on like Halloween It Kills and Ends in 2018?
Okay, first, I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. This is a very difficult thing.
Okay, so question. Okay, pause the first question. I personally loved Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween, the first one. I love I love Rob Zombie. He's I dig his music, the whole nine.
Oh
I think this Halloween 2 that he did is probably the worst thing I've ever seen come from him. Like, hands down. Just absolutely terrible. What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna have to agree with you. As much as like if Rob Zombie do a book or read a book, he's probably never gonna do it ever again, even if I ever tried. But I hated it. I was, what am I watching? What is this?
It had like 15 good minutes, and that was just the intro, and then the rest of it was just off a cliff.
But I think that goes back to what I said earlier. They tried to give Michael Myers a reason to why, when he didn't need a reason.
No, he doesn't need one.
Well, okay, so the first movie, they did a good enough reason of just, he came from a screwed up family. Just plain and simple, and that was it. The second movie, though, was like trying to be ethereal, and I don't even know. That's worse than like Lords of Salem, honestly.
Yeah.
Lord, don't get me started on that movie. Oh, wow. I can't tell you. It's not one of those ones of like, oh, there's nothing to watch. Fine, I'll watch it. You know, type. That one was just like, that would just shoot me, because I was like, what am I watching?
Background noise.
Of something?
Background noise.
I was like, I felt like I was watching a bad remake, and I couldn't think of what movie it would even be similar to, but I was like, no, this is not. What is this?
Yeah.
That's how it was with the new Crow movie.
A miss.
So, back to the original question, your thoughts on the newest Halloween trilogy, because for me, Halloween 2018, I think, was the best like reboot sequel that's ever been done, honestly. You know, they incorporated the stuff from the first one. They didn't really ruin the legacy of like what came after. Like, if you wanted to focus on like the original story, timeline, whatever, you can.
Yeah.
You know, but I think they handled the 2018 trilogy excellently.
I agree with you. I really enjoyed that. I think that when it comes down to most of them, like, okay, I've seen all the Halloweens. I've seen every single one of them. And there's
even H2O?
And there's some I won't watch again. And there's some that I feel like I just have to watch because they come on AMC during Halloween, and it's back to back to back. So I'm not thrilled about some things, and I agree with you. 2018, give it to me. I would rather it was good. The other ones, out. It's okay. Yeah.
See,
let's see what a couple of years that some, 20-something turning 30 thinks that they can do with it, and then we'll be back saying just like, you're gonna.
What were your thoughts on Season of the Witch?
Stop on your head.
Season of the Witch. I don't know what that was.
Okay, good. We're in that camp. Good. You and me are both in that camp.
As much as I love Carpenter, I will say that some things were just to make money in order to get funded for the next. That's how I saw it. That's exactly.
Season of the Witch is kind of interesting because I actually think it kind of goes against what you just said, is that if he wanted to do something just to make money, then he would have done Michael Myers and Halloween 3. But I think he was trying to have like that film school student type of vibe of, well, I've told my story. I literally lit him on fire. There's nothing else I can do with this character. It's done. Let me switch over to like, okay, well, what are, like a Twilight Zone or
anthology,
Goosebumps or whatever of
it was supposed to be anthology,
Yeah, and I kind of enjoyed that. However, I think the movie was really kind of bad.
Subpar for him.
Yeah,
it was subpar for him.
Did he even direct that one? I thought he was just a producer.
Let me find out.
I don't know.
Because I really do like you said, the Twilight Zone aspect of it, because that's one of my favorite shows. But yeah, the plot for me, the plot didn't grab me.
I liked everything up until it was like cyborg.
Yes, robot
dude,
and
the 40-year-old man hitting up on like a 16-year-old. I could have done without.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Turn on ID channel and watch that now. I mean.
So Tommy Lee Wallace directed Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, then that does not smear Carpenter's name.
Okay.
Well.
Okay, wait.
Anything to do with it?
What do y'all think of Jordan Peele? What do you think about his film?
Which one? Because I
know Get Out is always one of the fans, but like Us and Nope. What did you guys think about those?
I haven't seen those yet.
I haven't seen Nope. I saw Us, and I think it's kind of interesting. You got like David Gordon Green and like some of these comedy personalities. Was David Gordon Green? He was the one in like Pineapple Express, right? He was like the drug dealer in Pineapple Express.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So you've got these comedy actors, and Peele came from Key and Peele, and I think the comedy people kind of make some of the best horror stuff.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell.
At least on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Of course. At least on like a psychological level, because his movies aren't necessarily scary, but they really they dig in deep. And their messaging can really like have an adverse effect on you. Like I know sitting in Get Out with my grandmother watching that, like I kind of felt like a piece of shit somehow. Like not like me myself, but like
I got
the subject. Yeah. Like it was just.
Let's see.
I mean, that's why I like things that mess with your mind. I love psychological horror.
Yeah, I do like hard too. That is when it's like nowadays when you write something, it's so hard to write something that you can't. It's hard to write a jump scare on a page. That's hard, and that's why I think it's with movies. I enjoy that day because that movies can do the jump scare, and if you're trying, I feel like you have to. Honestly, I feel like I have to study movies in order to be able to do one on page, and even then, I'm going to screw it up. Without having, I have to feel like I have to have that fear to be able to do a jump scare.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I like about the horror genre is that. But when it comes to psychological, give me crazy people all the way.
I mean, one of my favorites is No Country for Old Men.
Oh,
Anton Chigurh hunting the people down. It's like the coin toss. Everything about that just gets in your head.
Have y'all seen a Clown in the Cornfield yet?
No, I want to. Because that looked really, really good.
Watch it, and then something happened and I couldn't see it. I've read all the books and thoroughly enjoyed it, but I've heard that the movie is really, really good. I haven't heard one person say anything bad about it yet.
What movie?
Clown in the Cornfield.
Oh, I wanted to see that movie.
It's always good when a book gets put into a movie and people actually talk good about it, because it's so often where it's like the book is just so much better. Heck, I'll even say I love the original Universal Frankenstein, but the original book is still better. I love Mary Shelley's vision for that. I love Boris Karloff's version, but that book every year Halloween, gotta read it.
Like right now, I know that they're making Jessica Chastain and I don't know if they started yet. But she's in Josh Mallerman's Incidents Around the House. I've read that book. Have y'all read that?
No, not yet.
That book. It made me. I mean, there's very few things that make me scared, like just in general. That book made me. I really saw the other mommy, and then you have a little girl. It just changes your mind about imaginary friends when it's not an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
Thought that's going to make an interesting movie. It's going to be, and I think that that's definitely, for those who didn't get to see Bird Box, I think that they're going to be interested in this. Because I don't know, maybe it'll feel like a Conjuring type feel, but without magic. You know what I'm saying? Like not too much demon stuff.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about the last Conjuring movie that's coming up? Because they've been kind of stretching it with these last ones, I think.
Yeah, I'm interested. I've seen all of them so far, so I'll definitely see it. But I will say that last one is, I could have sworn, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, I could have sworn that the guy that the movie was about, he was not held in a demonic force. I thought the guy thought he was a werewolf.
He did.
Yeah. It wasn't like, it wasn't him. He wasn't possessed. He thought he was, he had, the whole animalistic mentality. He was, this, and go through this change. Something comes over me, and, he thought he was an actual werewolf running around.
Yeah, because I was in there and I was like, we watched it and stuff. I'm not saying I thought he was going to transform or anything, but I was thinking to myself going, am I missing something? Like, then all of a sudden this house has some demon, this little kid. And I was like, I don't remember any of this being in any of the documentaries or anything that I've ever watched that had anything to do with this case. If this is, based on true events.
Yeah.
I was, oh man, I hope this up the last one.
So
because the last one's supposed to be the most important one. The last one's supposed to be the one that, basically made them quit. Quit like chasing them so much, and gone more went into more of a
advisor
consultation role. As opposed to let's go hunt these things down.
Yeah.
So,
what did y'all think about the Nun?
I like the Nun. I like the Nun.
I just kind of like the first Conjuring movie. I love it. It it was scary without being too flashy. Like you didn't need some big scary monster. And I've said this point numerous times, but I think from Conjuring 2 onward, like the Annabelle movies, the Nun, the I don't know the Spanish one.
La Llorona.
Yeah, La Llorona. I just think that they got too Hollywoodified. Like we need a big scary monster in there all the time, and there, it needs to be something that we can sell toys or merchandise of. And to me, it just kind of ruined it. Like the worst film in the entire Conjuring franchise was Annabelle Comes Home or whatever. Like 5 minutes in, this deaf kid just gets plowed by this 18-wheeler, and it's just like, did the parents not like notice at all? So I don't know. I'm excited for Last Rites, but most of the Conjuring universe has been kind of a dud in my opinion.
Yeah. As much as I wanted a Crooked Man movie, it didn't need to happen, to be honest. Like you said, it becomes too many characters at that point. It's not a haunted object. It's, this is a specific person. This is a specific monster.
That's what kind of worries me about this next one, is it's supposed to have every aspect that the Conjuring universe has brought up in this movie. They're going to deep dive into like most of the haunted artifacts in their museum.
Yeah.
Look, you want to have any haunted artifacts? They brought Annabelle to Louisiana. And
you found her yet?
Screwed up this state. And no, I mean, come on. That's a horror movie itself right there. If they wanted to do a 4, y'all just come down here.
Yeah, no kidding.
There is an upcoming horror movie that I'm really excited about called Weapons. Comes out in August. That movie's got me intrigued out the wazoo.
I am so with you on that. I am like, is it possession? Is it like an evil Pied Piper type feel? I will be there. I gotta find out.
Yeah, the marketing's been so well done on that, and it's reminding me a lot of Longlegs. If I'm not mistaken, isn't one of the producers or directors from Longlegs?
Think so.
Working on that.
I'm working on it.
It's got that same vibe to it, and Longlegs was excellent.
Oh, that was so good. I enjoyed that.
And let's give Nicolas Cage his props for reviving his career. For like the past 10, 15 years, he was stuck in like direct-to-DVD hell. And the past 5 years or so, he's had like a career resurgence.
I will die on the hill. I really enjoy Willy's Wonderland. I know it's brain rot, but I loved it. Him beating up the gorilla in the bathroom was great.
And him not having any lines in that movie whatsoever.
And the explosion appearing in his glasses while driving away from the explosion.
What do y'all think about Mike Flanagan doing the remake? And he just, not remake, but he just started the TV show Carrie.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about that, but I'm kind of curious to how it'll be.
Oh, yeah. He just started, actually. He posted up, because I follow him on Instagram, and he just posted up yesterday or the day before. One of those, I can't remember like off the top of my head, but it was day one of filming of Carrie. And I was like, this should be interesting because it's a TV show this time.
Yeah.
They can deep dive into it. And Alberto, yes, Longlegs is completely worth it. Don't look up any spoilers or anything. Just go into it blind. It's fantastic.
Let's see. Weapons is from the director of Barbarian.
Does it have the producer of Longlegs or anything attached to it?
Not that I see. Let's see.
Damn. But Mike Flanagan, he's also one of the best like horror directors that we've gotten in recent years. Like Haunting of Hill House, Midnight Mass was incredible. You want to talk about subverting some expectations about some vampires? Spoiler alert, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Just wow.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the ones I would just pop on and just rewatching. I like Bly Manor, but if I had a choice, I'd be putting Midnight Mass on heartbeat. That was such a good, and it wasn't one of those overly loud. I have a thing for some things. I don't know about how y'all are. There's some shows that just should be quiet, just calm, quiet. You know, be like just like how Midnight Mass was. There's just some things that should be like that. And I was like, that's just one of them. And he does that so well. But I also like the House of Usher. I'm obsessed with that. I just love it.
I haven't seen House of Usher yet.
Yeah, same, but it looks interesting.
But one of the next projects Flanagan's working on is actually he's doing a superhero movie, but it's going to be a horror movie based on the villain Clayface. Which I don't know if you know anything about Clayface, but he's like a man made out of clay and can like morph his appearance, and there's a lot of like body horror related to it and everything.
Was it Clayface? Wasn't Rockface in the Fantastic Four? No, that's a different character.
No, that was Thing.
Okay. Well, that should be interesting. I'll definitely look at that one when he gets that one going and check out updates and stuff. Because, I mean, I'm down with like so far. I mean, I've liked everything he's done. So there's not one thing I haven't liked. But I haven't seen Life of Chuck yet. I haven't seen it.
I heard Life of Chuck was pretty good.
What's going on?
I heard.
What, with your audio or?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah, he keeps freezing up over on the side.
Hey, Stacey Gold, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still here.
No?
Yeah. We're all good.
Oh my God.
The shadow people got you. We're good.
I need to take a screenshot of that one and tease them with it.
What is going on with the internet?
You're still live. Don't say anything too bad.
Oh, I missed the chance to get the screenshot. Oh well, that's still well, we'll see. We'll give him.
As long as no one pops up in the middle and tells us that we're not allowed to leave for a short amount of time, I'm going to be okay. Because that reminds me of every single social media movie ever.
How do you feel about those kind of horror movies that do like social media?
There's some good ones. I really do like that. There was one. I wish I could remember. It's not off the top of my head, but I have it saved in all my stuff. That's the crazy part is. But they're on the computer, and all of a sudden they have this little extra person, and he says they ended up. Spoiler alert! If anybody remembers this, they ended up like showing a video of a girl who committed suicide, and so the girl comes back through the computer and just kills them all and use that. And I will say that was really good. So every time I think of something like this, that's
it was like chat room or something like that.
Yeah.
I know one was like unfollowed or unfriended, so I can't remember which one.
Like unfriended,
maybe unfriended. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that, and then I started reading after that more and more and more like this. And I think that if you find a good movie and you're going to just base off it, you just have to do something different, because everybody did like one was like a truth or dare one and stuff. I enjoy them. I think it's completely possible. I think you just have to twist for them.
Well, still at the dark web, there is a whole like untapped well there, because I know people say don't try to reinvent the wheel, but I've always loved when people try to reinvent the wheel.
Oh yeah, well, it's the same thing with books. It's like everything, but we haven't read it your way.
Yeah.
So I'm down trying to read it a different way.
That's the same mindset I've had with it, because again, I'm not going to go into my stuff here, but the way I reinvented one character, he's what you would call a demon, but he does not at all go with anything like, because that's my, I always worry that things go into the trap of like, if you're talking about a demon, everybody just assumes one thing.
Yeah.
Like, so it's always fun to twist that where it's like it has nothing to do with like mythological type things. It's just like
was it
Eldritch horror almost.
What was the one zombie movie? It's like a zombie love story.
Warm Bodies.
Yes. I love that.
Exactly. Movie. Yes. Then they had the bonies at the end that were like just the. Yep.
The one that lost hope. Zombies that lost hope.
Yep.
You know, that was a good on that too, on the zombie trope. That was a really good twist. I never would have thought to do it that, and I really enjoyed that.
Good wind is
causing internet problems. You escaped the void.
Yeah, I'm back.
We just heard you saying our names and he disappeared. They got him.
Yeah, it was weird. I thought we were crashing for a second, but no, it was just me.
Yep.
But yeah, let's see. Unfriended was a good one. Okay. So, and then let's see. The Dark Web sequel was okay.
It was okay. Yeah.
Zombie Honeymoon?
I hadn't heard of that one, but it sounds interesting with the title.
Look that one up. Yeah. But what do you think of these, B-rated movies, I guess, that are taking Disney characters and turning them into horror figures?
Oh, I love them.
Me too.
There's just some that just deserve it. I mean, I would totally watch it and rate it. I mean, I'm down with it. You know, I don't know. Like, there's some, like, Jafar's gotten really popular all of a sudden. I don't know why.
Yeah.
He's one that I would never expect to get popular. And so,
It'd be a good scary thing.
It would be, yeah.
Because genies are really good for horror, too. But you never see it.
Yeah.
Wishmaster.
What was the last genie movie, or any genie movie that came out? I don't even know. Gosh. I don't know. It's been a long time.
I'd love a Toy Story styled horror movie.
That exists.
It does?
Yeah, Puppet Master.
Well, yeah, Puppet Master. Yeah. I meant like toys that are like, it's a company where the guy just makes them when they kill the kid that owns them.
Yeah, Puppet Master.
Toys.
Yeah.
Well, now,
were they meant for kids? I can't remember. Were they meant for kids to play with?
Kinda-ish.
That's what I was going like. Andy opens his toy on Christmas morning, and that night it wants to smother him with a pillow.
Yeah.
That's still cool. But it's like, Cinderella. How many, Cinderella, she's getting changed into, and Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like, they're just going to kill and stab people. I'm not against it, but it's like, wow, kind of like, but I mean,
Teens are assholes in general.
Into her carpet, or like the bear rug. Let's see what happens if he makes her mad one day and just slices him up, and guess what? He's a rug now. That's not that bad. I'd be down with that.
Now, I liked when they did Winnie the Pooh. They turned Winnie the Pooh into some evil beastie, but they have
Blood and Honey was great.
coming out.
That was good.
I want to see
And
that.
Peter Pan. Peter Pan looks incredible.
The Peter Pan one was good.
Oh, it's
I
out
want to see
already?
it, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, I'm behind.
Yeah.
That was good. Bambi looks interesting. And what else? They did the Popeye one. No, the Steamboat Willie.
White and the Seven into anything, have they? I don't think so.
Which one?
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
They've what's that one? Asylum did one. I think they did a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs one. And it's like the dwarves were zombies and Snow White had to hunt them down or something like that. Yeah, I don't quote me on if it's Asylum or not, but I'm pretty sure.
If it's Asylum, there's a quality there.
I'm pretty sure I've seen something along those lines. And because I mean they've done a ton of like Hansel and Gretel ones.
Yeah.
Oz Perkins, he did Gretel and instead of Hansel and Gretel, he did Gretel and Hansel, right? I mean, like you know, he switched the name. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. Well, even the one with Jeremy Renner in it, I thought that was a good one.
That was pretty good. I admit I did like that one.
Turning them into witch hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I that one actually on Sci-Fi. I don't even know if Sci-Fi is still a channel anymore. To tell you the truth,
I'm not sure. I hadn't had regular TV in forever.
Me either.
I think it's a streaming service. It's part
Scare
like
Tactics
part
was
of
so incredible.
Yeah.
Some streaming service.
Yeah, I like Scare Tactics. That was really good.
Loved Scare Tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Are they supposed to be doing anything else with Blood and Honey? Because I know we were talking about the Pooh one. So are they supposed to be doing a third one?
Coming. There's a third one coming.
The first one I will always love because I laughed so hard at the part where they hit Pooh with the beer bottle. Because he just takes the beating like Jason, like tire irons and everything, and then just the dude hits him with a bottle, and then he's just like, and just goes to town on everyone and just kills.
That's great.
Yeah, they're working on like a Blood and Honey universe, like all these Disney movies.
It's called the Pooh-niverse. You address it right.
But no, I liked in the second one what they did with Owl.
Yes,
they made Owl terrifying.
Yeah,
like absolutely terrifying. I loved it. He was so vindictive.
Yes, I want to see what they do with Gopher.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you open up an IP, and like I said, with the Steamboat Willie, and people will go ham on them because it's you've seen them, the good side of them for so long. You want to see those characters go bad at least once.
The Grinch one was pretty rough. That's pretty rough to see if it was not that great.
I thought that movie was hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like scary, but the Grinch is in there with the people. Okay. Yeah.
There's a great Grinch movie on Tubi everyone should watch.
What's it called?
I tried to watch it. I just couldn't do it because all I kept thinking was just the Ron Howard Grinch the entire time.
I love the Jim Carrey Grinch. I love it.
Every time at Christmas, because my daughter loves the Grinch, so we were watching it. And every time I sat there, I was like, no, I can't picture Jim Carrey just being nice and then killing people. That's not. I didn't ever get to finish it, but I did watch a movie called The Damned, and it was like this like. I forgot what year. It was like, I want to say like 1200 something. And there was a boat that had crashed in the water and they were screaming for help. And the little town decided not to help them. So they became like, in a sense, zombies and went after them.
Yes.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Yes, that's right. And it's like in the like Norway or something like that. It was like a frozen landscape. Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw the trailer, so I'm like, shit, I got to find that one.
It was really good. I really liked. I mean, it was a quiet film. It wasn't too loud, and I really enjoyed. Like I said, quiet horror is making its way, and I think that I think that if people just give it a chance, they'd like it.
Did you see?
I like it. I like it.
The last voyage of the Demeter.
I have not seen that yet, and I keep meaning to, but I haven't seen it. I heard it was good.
I thought it was excellent. Just what it equates out to a prelude in a book, and they turn it into this movie that I want to see more of it.
Oh, wow.
I want to see them go further with it, but I guess it didn't do good in the ratings because it wasn't the vampire movie that everybody was expecting. But I thought they did a phenomenal job with that movie. That was really well done.
Yeah, that's on one of my to watch list. I just haven't got a chance to do yet. I mean, it's so long right now. It's just crazy.
Now, what do you think of the Terrifier movies?
As horror, because I definitely do.
What's that?
The Substance with Demi Moore.
Oh my God.
Yes. That was that was body horror at its finest.
Me and my
people who do not consider that horror, and I just stare at them and I go, "Have you watched it? Like, have you fully watched the entire film? And you're still going to tell me you don't think it's horror?" No, just in case anyone hasn't seen it, spoiler: her back splits open and gives birth. I mean, that's horror all the way.
Yeah, that movie was definitely a more realistic horror. It's not your slasher, fine. It's not your monster, fine. But it's
a monster, all right.
It's human nature is the monster. Human nature and that search for longevity. And what are you willing to give up to keep that?
And it also it's a price to pay for wanting something different. A beauty, another part. You just have a price to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. So we're about at the end of the show. We're almost about to hit 2 hours. So like I said, once we start going, time flies.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us tonight. It was really great getting to know you. Anytime you want to come back on, just let us know. We'll bring you back on. Once your book drops, you've got to come back on, and we've got to talk about it when we actually talk about it.
Awesome.
And then usually at the end of the show, just go ahead and throw out to the people where they can find you, what you got going on, what projects you've got coming up, and how they can support you.
Well, you can find me on any of my Instagram or Threads, or even Twitter. It's Super Stacey 318. I'm in every single one of those. I'm even on Substack, and also with Stacey L. Pierson as Super Stacey 318. Also, you can totally support me by just getting the book, The Breathing House, which comes out the 26th of this month, 9 days, and any of my books, review them. Let me know what you think about them. And I have coming up, besides The Breathing House, I also have Wilt, which is coming out, my first dark psychological thriller next year, actually on my birthday, March 27th. And then after that, anything is a go, because I'm working on 2 books right now, and hopefully when they're done by the end of the year, I'll have some more good news, I hope.
Like The Breathing House being produced by Blumhouse Studios.
That would be amazing. I would be amazing if that happens, because that is the type of good old Southern household love that I would love to see on a film.
Excellent. Lights, what do you got?
Again, follow me on my main account. Also follow Amp Toys for helpful collabs, learning how to do more stuff with photography and editing and all that good stuff. And also Friday on Nostalgia Bay, we are covering the marketing for Blair Witch. You can find that on you can find that on my YouTube account. It's same name as my Instagram, just instead of the action figures, it's Lights Camera AF. That's my YouTube account. And that's at 9 on Fridays.
I should be there with you.
All right, Goldman, what you got?
Same as usual. Go member 150 on Instagram and follow the Devil's Toys. To have your shots featured on here. I think the next collab, since we were talking about tonight, I'll announce it officially, but it'll probably be crossover Devils. So we'll do a crossover thing. Anything else? I've got the links for this YouTube channel on the Devil's Toys, and on my main account, the YouTube channel, and my DeviantArt if you're interested in reading anything, because I haven't been promoting that at all and need to actually start. So anything like that, that's all I got.
Awesome. All right, everybody, go check out at Super Stacey 318 at all your social media needs, and also check out Stacey L. Pierson on Amazon and get those books. Go check out those books.
Yep.
As always, Signal Magazine's first issue will be coming out soon. You will also be finding us at HorrorCon LA this year, covering Night Frights and the HorrorCon LA convention, and hopefully we'll be able to get a lot of good interviews and talk to a lot of people out there. You can always find me Instagram, Ravens Eye Studio 21. Find us on Mondays at Ravens Across the Sands. This weekend, I will be going live with Savage Crucible from Joe Fest, Joe Fest toy convention up in Augusta, Georgia. And that should be fun. Seth Green's going to be there, so I'm going to try to sneak an interview in with him. So we're going to talk robot chicken and things like that. And that, check out my link page or my link tree. I will add your pages into it as well over there. So if you can't find her page, go look at mine. It'll be in my link tree, and go check her out. Other than that, all the shows out there: Worthy Addiction, Weekly Habit, Ravens Across the Sands, Latin Legions, Toy Mercs Live. Yeah, ton of shows. Go check out my TV guide, link tree in my channel. And thank you, Signal Magazine. Thank you, Stacey. Gold member Lights. Always a good time. Everybody in chat, thanks for joining us. Remember, Alberta said, horror books, you say? Yes, sir.
That was the whole point of her being gone, Alberta.
He joined us late. Give it a break. He joined us late.
You get one pass, Alberto. Go check out her link tree for real. Her books sound incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We will see. We will see
you
all
again. You're a
again.
guest either. I promise. I genuinely mean that.
So I'm not sure we're doing Devils and Ravens next week. I don't think we are, because I'm going to be recovering from Joe Fest.
I thought we are.
We might be. We'll figure out. You know me.
Okay.
I'm always going to say no. Then last minute say, yeah, let's go. So other than that, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that share button. And on that note, y'all have a good night.